Imagine for a moment that every time you worried about the future, you had to pick up a rock and put it in your pocket. Imagine that every time you felt guilty about the past, you had to strap a brick to your back. And imagine that every time you tried to impress a stranger, you had to hold a heavy iron weight in your hands. How far do you think you could walk? A mile? A day? Most of you listening to this have been walking for 20, 30, maybe 40 years, and you have never put the weight down. You are exhausted. I can hear it in your breathing. You are tired not because you are doing too much physically, but because you are carrying too much mentally. Today, I want to tell you the story of a man who climbed the highest mountain in the world to find peace, only to realize he had brought his prison with him. There was a wealthy architect named Julian. Julian had everything. He built skyscrapers. He drove cars that cost more than most houses. He had a beautiful family. But Julian couldn't sleep. His chest always felt tight. His mind was a storm of emails, deadlines, and the fear of losing it all. He heard of an old monk living atop the gray peak, a mountain known for its brutal, steep climb. Legend said the monk knew the secret to a light heart. So Julian packed his expensive high-tech gear. He packed his satellite phone, his solar chargers, his gourmet food, and he began to climb. The climb was agony. His back screamed, his legs shook, but he pushed, just like he pushed in business. Conquer the mountain, he told himself. When he finally reached the top, gasping for air, he saw the monk. The old man was sitting on a rock, looking at the clouds, wearing nothing but a thin robe. He looked weightless. Julian collapsed in front of him. He dropped his massive, heavy backpack with a loud thud. He wheezed, "I made it! I conquered the mountain! Now teach me, how do I stop the stress? How do I find peace?" The monk looked at Julian, then looked at the massive backpack. "You have not conquered the mountain," the monk smiled. "You have merely carried your city up to the clouds." The monk pointed to the bag. "Open it." Julian opened the bag. Inside were his laptop, his expensive camera, a bottle of fine whiskey, a thick book on economics, and a heavy gold watch. The monk picked up the gold watch. "Why did you bring this?" "In case I need to know the time," Julian said. The monk picked up the laptop. "And this?" "In case I need to check the markets." The monk shook his head. "You climbed to a place where time does not matter, carrying a machine to measure it. You climbed to a place of silence, carrying the noise of the world on your back." The monk stood up and handed Julian a heavy, jagged rock from the ground. "Hold this," he said. Julian held it. It wasn't too heavy. "Hold it at arm's length," the monk ordered, "and do not drop it." 1 minute passed. It was easy. 5 minutes passed. Julian's shoulder began to burn. 10 minutes passed. His arm was shaking uncontrollably. The pain was excruciating. "It is just a small rock," the monk said softly. "Why does it hurt?" "Because I have been holding it too long," Julian gritted his teeth. "Exactly," the monk whispered. "The weight of the rock does not change, but the longer you hold it, the heavier it becomes. Your stress, your grudges against your father, your worry about next year's profits, your regret about the girl you didn't marry 20 years ago. These are just rocks. At first, they are small, but you have been holding them at arm's length for decades. That is why you are paralyzed." The monk gently pushed Julian's arm down. The rock fell. The relief was instant. Blood rushed back into Julian's arm. He felt light.
You do not need to learn how to climb higher, the monk said. You need to learn how to put the bag down. Now I want to speak to you. Yes, you. You are Julian. You are hiking up the mountain of your life, but you are carrying a backpack that is destroying your spine. What is in your backpack right now? I bet there is a stone called comparison. You scroll through social media and you feel bad because your life doesn't look like theirs. That is a stone. Drop it. I bet there is a stone called the past. That mistake you made 5 years ago, you replay it in your head every night before you sleep. You think punishing yourself will change what happened. It won't. It just ruins your sleep. That is a stone. Drop it. I bet there is a huge, heavy stone called "What will they think?" You don't start the business. You don't wear the outfit you like. You don't speak your truth because you are terrified of the imaginary opinions of people who don't even love you. That is the heaviest stone of all. Why are you carrying this? Do you think the universe gives a prize at the end of life to the person who carried the heaviest load of misery? There is no prize for suffering. You are allowed to be happy. You are allowed to travel light. Happiness is not addition, it is subtraction. We are taught that to be happy we need to add things. Add a better car, add a better partner, add more followers. But the monk knows the truth. To be happy, you must subtract. Subtract the jealousy, subtract the fear, subtract the need to be right. I want you to try something today, just for today. Visualize your problems as rocks. When you feel that tightness in your chest, imagine taking the rock out of your pocket and setting it on the side of the road. Say to yourself, I will not carry this up the mountain. Your journey is hard enough. The path is steep enough. Don't make it harder by carrying luggage that doesn't belong to you. Take a deep breath. Unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Drop the rock. And keep walking.